My mama been told me.
I'll do the talking. Oh, Quannabaca. You know me. Quanna? Oh, this is my partner here. It's Jim Gary. He's from up north, Montana way. He's good friend. He's big brain.
Lie. Napaninez, soldier. I see him before.
Well, you got a good memory. Yeah, I was with Major Frazier last year when you signed the peace treaty.
Now you break treaty. You come here.
No, I'm not in uniform. You see, my coming here has nothing to do with the Army. We're here to trade.
Yeah.
Show him, McCabe.
You're still giving the orders, huh? Quanah, I'd like to talk a little business with you. You got 2 pack horses here, first class, pretty merchandise. Oh, you.
Oh, you.
Tuknaho! Ahatukma!
She's no anumpa. Nakeyo!
Umpo! Tuknaho!
She's no anumpa.
I know one thing, I never heard that my people were slaves. Mama knew what she was talking about, but I always thought that she wanted to be something that we wasn't. And I remember I used to say, Mama, we black. She said, I don't care how black. She said, you're an Indian. I will never forget that. I was about 7 years old. Like I say, I've been thinking like a native all my life, but I didn't never want to expose it because I was in the South. Then I said, well, maybe if I go to New York, I can expand myself. Not knowing that I was going to meet other Indians that more so look like me. I arrived here in 1960, about 1961. I just had I got out of high school. I became another person after I got here. I ain't saying I'm not black, but I'm not an African, you know? I'm a Native American from this country. Me, I dress cultural every day. You know, I wear my band every day. I put on my native clothes, and that's just me. This is another idea I got from the Navajo people. I got this idea from the Navajo people. Some of the things, I'm gonna be frank, I ain't say it come from me. This right here came from me, but the black color with the blue, I got this idea from the Navajo. You know, I made this myself, and I just love this shirt. Everything I basically got, the Spirit give it to me. You know, and that's a good thing about me. You know, I go by the Spirit, and the funny thing about it, I don't be asking for it. You know, like people go, so I'm going to Spirit, I'm gonna ask for a name, I'm going to name ceremony, I'm gonna ask for a name. Everything I ever got, I never went to nobody for it. The Spirit already gave it to me. It's the Spirit that lives in you determine who you are. No matter what people think or what people say about you or how you look, because I know who I am. And can't nobody tell me who I am. I know who I am. I ain't go and join no tribe and like a lot of people do. Why should I join them? You know, I don't need to join nobody to give me no rules what I should do. People don't know natives come looking different ways, and it took me a long time to realize that. This is where the Native Americans of color is right here on this side of the town. What's that?
What nation are you from?
I'm Cherokee.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, from Georgia.
I'm one of my nations. I'm Lenape, but the other three grandparents, I don't know what nation they were from.
Oh yeah, Lenape. Yeah, I think I knew you from here, from the last powwow.
Yeah.
I was here, but I didn't have on my regalia.
I ain't got to see this brother up so he is. Good shot.
Oh yeah, thank you, yeah. I'm the real deal.
Yes, you are. Aren't we?
Yes, right. Your name is what?
Tracy.
Say, okay, I'm Eagle Eye.
Eagle Eye.
Yeah, so when you see, just say Eagle Eye.
All right, sir.
All right, thank you. Yeah. My name is, whole name is Eagle Eye, Backlog, Black, Brown, Red, White, and Yellow Buffalo. That's my whole name. Right now, if I'd have still been in the South, you don't see natives in the South, my complexion, saying they native. Because they're still in the South, and they ain't been exposed to the natives here with the dark complexion on the reservation still today. I said, good God, Mama was telling the truth.
Creator, bless. Not from Africa?
They're not from Africa.
They
No black
from-
people is from Africa.
They from out here, right?
You guys are literally from out here. Africans don't even want to be claimed with you guys. Like, that is the difference. Africans is totally separate.
Oh, hold on. Where you from?
I'm from Liberia.
From Liberia. And you trying to tell these people that I'm trying to tell them that they're not Africans.
They're not.
They are already. I don't know why they don't want to hear.
There was black people already here, bro.
Already here, but they want to say.
And it wasn't even Native American, bro. It was just dark.
Right.
Here.
They want to say that they. I think they
And
love
what
slave
people
boats,
fail to
bro.
realize is they migrated.
They love the slave boat. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But tell them again, black people.
Black people is not from Africa.
Say it louder.
But black people is not from Africa.
Black people is not from Africa.
Yeah, and anybody who said they're from Africa, bro, that's some dumb shit. Because Africans don't even fuck with people from here, bro. So,
Period.
Africans can tell you fucking Africans.
Period. The black people out here is not from Africa.
They're not from Africa. No
They
black
from-
people is from Africa.
They from out here.
I'm just checking this all out.
Just checking out. What's up, man? What's your nationality, bro?
This is my tribe right here. I'm brave. But it's not Cuban though. It's incorrect.
What is it?
It's Massachusetts. It's a little different.
What
But
you
it's
mean?
Manasai. It's the same thing.
What you mean, like, but your people come from Cuba?
Nah,
Where your people come from?
Israel.
Israel? What part of Israel?
Israel that's here.
Manasseh. Okay, but what do they call your people on this side of the earth?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts? That's a native tribe?
Massachusetts state named themselves after our tribe.
okay.
Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
So it's just- but this is how the tribe is pronounced.
Okay, Manasseh.
So Algonquin language is the same as Israel language, the same as Hebrew language.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My language is very similar to this.
Okay. So y'all,
It's interesting.
y'all down here from Boston now? Or the
Yeah,
Memphis
from Maryland.
area?
You got it.
Okay.
You got it. Yeah, it was just interesting to see that.
Yeah. It's
I
cool.
saw it earlier. I was like, yo, that's crazy. It's got our tribe on it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I've been looking into the Algonquin and this. What is that other tribe? What are the other tribe like in New York? It's Algonquin. What's right in New York though?
Algonquin is still,
Shinnecock.
but they're all Algonquin still.
But they're all a part of the
Algonquin's a
Algonquin
language.
It's
There's only one Algonquin tribe there in Canada.
Okay, but the language
Algonquin.
group is Algonquin.
But our nationalistic designation is called Titicate.
Okay.
So our designations, the way that we do our nationalistic stuff, like our nation status, it comes from the land base in which your home village is.
Okay.
So we have 198 different villages within Massachusetts, but my home village is Titicate.
Okay.
Because my grandfather, who was the chief of the tribe, I serve as council chief now, but my grandfather, he served as council chief, and when he did, the national designation was Titicate. So on the old documents that you can pull from the Vatican from the 1621, you can actually see there that it says Massachusetts country or Titicate country, opposed to, like a tribe. We didn't even use tribe, but Matakeesit would be my race.
Okay.
I'm considered Matakeesit as my race, but my national designation is Titicate.
It's crazy because literally we were just talking about it before you walked over. I was talking about how they got over 900 different, what they would say tribes, but everyone got their federal recognition.
Yeah, they only got 565 federally acknowledged.
Yeah.
But there's thousands that are unacknowledged, and every single last one of you guys standing out here comes from one of those tribes too, that are unacknowledged by the feds, but acknowledged by the Creator, which is
but
more
what you're
important.
saying is, basically, you're acknowledging that we all go back
Absolutely.
to Israel.
Absolutely. But everybody thinks Israel is somewhere else. That's also another problem.
What are you saying? Are you saying
This
Israel
is
is in
Israel.
America?
This is Israel.
Why do you believe that this is Israel?
I'll tell you why I know that.
Okay.
Because 10,000 years ago, they found an ancient rock from my tribe, okay? And it was very prehistoric. It was about 10,000 years old. And the language on there is the same language as the Hebrew language, right? But also, what's interesting about this rock is that the story is the story of the Jewish high holidays, but it's ours. And then they replicated the story of the Jewish high holidays off of our actual documentation on the rocks. The story's off the rock.
We got people that call themselves Pan-Africans. We have ADOS. We have Moors. We have Hebrew Israelites. Ain't nobody come together. 'Cause everybody want to have a different background. You have two sets of people that came to this country. You had Africans that came from Africa by way of the Europeans bringing them. You have Negroes who came from Europe, from Scotland and Ireland and England and France and Spain. Negroes. They came here for a new way of life. Now they go under the term African American. So they fighting with the indigenous people who know their history here. They look like you and I. But they can feel that they're not indigenous because they have a different mindset. You got Jabari. Jabari has roots in the islands. People from the islands were shipped to the Americas. People from the Americas were shipped to the islands to get rid of them. Just like they did with the Haitians. Get rid of you to take your land. People from Jamaica, Trinidad, all those people sent up here. People from New England sent down there to the islands. Sent to Bermuda, Bahamas. Taking the property from them. Now those people still look just like you and I in those islands. But a lot of them came from this land. A lot of our people in this land went down there and a lot of their people came up here. But they were indigenous people. So no. We understand how history went. We're not buying that other continent theory. When the information that's written, when they was telling the truth because they had no reason to lie, when there was no racism back then, they couldn't even figure out what race they were. They just knew that they come from the same landmass. They wouldn't call themselves white back then. But then when you come here and you start taking land, you want to say because you own property, you white. So they start classifying Negroes as white who own property. Negroes being classified as white because they own property. Then they decide, well, that term ain't gonna go. We got to separate ourselves from the brown-skinned people who own property versus the people of lighter complexion from Europe who own property. So that term kind of fade away. For the Negroes, the free people of color, yeah, see how that history works? It evolves over time. Right now what's evolving is, you can see where, you know that Jesse Jackson came up with the term African American in '88. Why is it that when you look at a book now that's online, that's been reposted, the term African American is inserted in it and versus the free people of color? See, they don't change all the wording that says color or free people of color, and they inserting the word African American in it. They inserting African American in everything today because they want you to think that you came from another continent. And if you know better, they're going to catch your younger generation that's coming up when you dead and gone. They're going to see those terms and they're going to think, we was always called African American. Look at that. It's in a book that's written in the 1700s. Because you failed to tell them the truth. Just like what happened with those statues. They lost the war and they put statues everywhere because you was fighting for civil rights versus human rights. And now all of a sudden you woke up today and you say, man, where all these statues come from? We need to get rid of those. They lied. Had to take a man getting murdered on television for you to wake up. You got white supremacists all over this country stockpiling guns, dedicating their whole rooms in their homes to guns, ammunition. You walking around trying to buy yourself some Jordans. They out there on the weekend, going to the range, going in the woods, hunting, shooting, practicing daily. You don't even know how to shoot a gun. You thinking you supposed to hold a pistol like they did in Boys in the Hood, turn it sideways and style with it. They holding it with two hands pointed straight at you. You're gonna learn. Miseducation. You have a lot of, when James Baldwin said that while he was rooting for Gary Cooper, killing off the Indians, and he found out that the Indians were you. You have people in history have always told you in code or a hint, and you overlook it every time. Malcolm X said that you don't like to be called Aborigines. You don't like that term. Martin Luther King told you that the Negro is in exile in his own land. In exile in his own land, his homeland, teaching the Europeans how to...
He changed the names of Indian people in Southampton County.
Exactly.
Their race from Indian to Negro or colored.
No, it was referred to as colored. And basically all the tribes in Virginia in the early 1900s were referred to as colored, okay? Then after the 1924 Racial Integrity Act, everything that was in that colored bowl became Negro, okay? And that's one of the reasons why in 1968 the Supreme Court overthrew that Racial Integrity Act and gave Native Americans the right, if they were born before July 1960, to come forward to the Bureau of Indian Affairs and correct those records that had been changed.
Listen close, we the only ones who ever got called nigger. Check out that movie, The Mohawk, on Netflix.
Out of New Orleans, Louisiana, coming to you with another great and informative video. Peace and blessings to all the melanated family and mankind. Well, family, this video gonna be about Thanksgiving and why black people should never celebrate it. That's right. Thanksgiving was a celebration of the genocide of the Pequot Indians, melanated Indians, just like me and you. In 1637, the massacre was led by a general named James Mason, and they committed genocide. The Pequot Indians was in Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey. That's right. And these devils came in and committed genocide, just like they committed genocide in New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, Africa, and everywhere else. The one that came on the sweet Jesus. That's right. Went in there and took the land, committed genocide on these indigenous people of America, not the Asiatic so-called people, not these $5 Indians. That's right, the Pequot Indian was already here, just like the Seminoles and the Choctaws and the Cherokees and the Iroquois and the Blackfoot, the Navajos, and on and on and on. The Omacs, the Anchors. Huh. We was already here on this, not these $5 Indians. That's right, the Pequot Indian was already here, just like the Seminoles and the Choctaws and the Cherokees and the Iroquois and the Blackfoot, the Navajos, and on and on and on. The Omacs, the Anchors. Huh. We was already here on this land before European invasions that came from England and France and Spain and Germany and everywhere else. That's right, family. So I don't celebrate no Thanksgiving. And they got information about this, the Pequot Massacre of 1637. Just Google it up. And they got a sister. I put the video in my like video. You can go there and check it out. I ain't forgot the sister name, but if you Google the Pequot Massacre of 1637, it'll pop up. That's right. And in the thumbnail, I will show the melanated people, they're going to be in the thumbnail. A lot of them exist today. That's right. And we out here celebrating the genocide of our own people. Thanksgiving. It was their celebration. And after that, Abraham Lincoln made it a law. You know, every Thursday of November, whatever day in November, which would be a Thursday, and there's going to be a lot of our people out there celebrating Thanksgiving and don't know the history and where it come from. None of our ancestors celebrated Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, 4th of July, or none of that nonsense.
Hey guys, I'm live at the Virginia Museum of History and Culture. I'm taking a video. I'm showing you guys the Powhatan. Alright, the Powhatan, as you guys know, is Pocahontas' father. So if you've ever seen the movie Pocahontas, obviously, this is what her father looked like. So as you can already tell, if her father looked like this, Pocahontas looked more like, you know, like me, people who look like us, people who are called African Americans today. So you can see his skin color is brown. Okay, you can see his hair. Alright, so now you can gauge how Pocahontas probably looked. Alright, this is the Powhatan, this is Pocahontas' father. So when they show you a depiction of who Native Americans are, you guys need to understand that the Native Americans, obviously a misnomer, the Aboriginal Americans look like this. So this is a chief. Alright, this is Chief Powhatan. You can see his clothes. See, he wears leaves and feathers. See his clothes, so that people don't think we're misappropriating any culture. This is how we dressed. Alright. This is the tobacco store figure. Alright, today he would obviously be called an African American or a black guy. Okay, but he's not. He's an Indian or an Aboriginal American indigenous to the Americas. And this is how, when Christopher Columbus came to America, this is who he saw. Alright? This is definitely who he saw. The quote-unquote Native Americans that you guys are familiar with today, this is also who they saw when they came to the Americas. Alright? So, you guys can already tell, you can see how Pocahontas is depicted now. Obviously, that's wrong, because this is her father. So this is how he looked. Alright, you guys can start looking up the Pickaninny tribe. Alright, I think that's quoted maybe in Peter Pan or something like that. The Pickaninny is a derogatory term for a black or Aboriginal child. Alright, you can see how he looked, not misappropriating anything by wearing feathers. You can see the feathers in his hair. You can see how his hair looked. Like I said, he would be considered an African American today. Alright, but this is a chief. Alright, you can only be a chief if you have your own nation on your own land. Alright, so I just wanted to share that with you guys.